Great. So the purpose of this session was just to give a little bit more of a dive into some of the nitty-gritty bits within HubSpot, not necessarily to demo the tools, but just to explain them in a bit more detail. So the kind of majority of this is kind of screen grabs, which have been taken from demo portals, from some information provided to us, or from within our portal as well. Anywhere where there's data visible is where it's kind of been fake data or it's been grayed out for kind of demo purposes. It would just be a brief run through some of the bits, especially as today's session was systemized. There may be a little bit of crossover, but we'll kind of whiz through it and then usually most of the time to open the floor for questions, perhaps some kind of specific use case questions, which we can obviously kind of tailor to your businesses. So let's go on to present. Okay, here's that share screen come through okay for everybody. Little nod, perfect. So as we've all kind of understood by now, it's a suite of tools very much designed for to bring together your sales, your marketing, and the service elements, and with website hosting added in a year or so back now. So it's a really useful platform for creating the content, managing your sales pipeline, storing information for your sales team, blogs, call to actions, managing your kind of end-to-end marketing campaign. Through the whole kind of customer journey and the buyer's journey as well. So there obviously are other technologies available, each are kind of good in their own way, but where kind of HubSpot comes into its own a little bit is where it connects your CRM, sales, marketing, and service hub, so you've got all your information in one place. Now, I know Richard touched on this briefly in today's session. The HubSpot CRM is a free system, and they promised it will be forever free. So if it's something that you do want to kind of just dip your toe in the water with, see what it's like, it's not going to be kind of where in 6 months or a year's time, all of a sudden it's a charged service. They're very publicly committed to that CRM being a free service forever. So I'll give you your contacts database. So it could replace whatever you're using now, whether it's an Excel sheet or another CRM. It gives you a similar layout for your companies as well, a pipeline to manage your deals in, plus a task list for you and your team to help keep everyone on track. You can still have multiple users within the free portal. It's not a user-based subscription service. So there are different tiers of functionality available, but none of it relates to the number of members of staff you have in. So you can have as many users in the portal as you want. As you go up through the levels, there are bits where you get paid seats per user, but that's just to access the functionality. It doesn't depend on the number of people in the portal. So the CRM will always be free, but building on top of that, you have the marketing hub, sales and service. Within each of these, the hubs, there's 3 different levels. The starter, professional, enterprise, there is an increase in cost, but also functionality across all of them. There is, at the minute, I'll share a link later on, a deal going on the starter kits for each of these. So that gives you a kind of little taster into some of the more advanced tools which are available as part of the paid functions. So if anyone kind of just running ads or looking for some basic analytics on the marketing, the starter pack is quite good there. And then building up into the professional, that's where a lot of the automation and that comes in. I'm looking to cover this first so that as we go through the different functionality, you have an idea of what level everything pitches in at. And then enterprise really is your kind of all singing, all dancing, bells and whistles to give you everything accessible there. Sales Hub, something similar. I know Richard has mentioned these today, so we won't kind of labour the point. All of this is available in much more detail, once again, on a link I'll share later on the pricing page, which drills down into how each level compares to the next. And then finally, the Service Hub, which is very much about kind of once you have your your customers on board. It's about managing the relationship with them and keeping that automation going, but in a very much customer focused way. So this is kind of once we're into the portal to give you an idea what things look like and the level of functionality available. So this would be how your CRM looks. I'm just going to dive into a couple of the contacts to see the information that's available and how powerful it is to have everything all in one place, drawing together the activity and the interaction that your prospects and customers have had with your materials. So into our kind of fake data here. I'm sure we've all been in a situation before, whether it be where you are now or in previous roles, where you're kind of asking a colleague, or if you followed up that call with Taylor, have they come back to you about this email? Oh yeah, that information, I put it on a note somewhere, I don't know where it's gone now. But the power of HubSpot is having all the information all in one place. So on a singular view, you've got your data about them in terms of kind of phone numbers, email addresses, job titles, but then also with that is every interaction and touch point that they've had with you or anyone else in your company. So it will list all the emails, which saves to kind of diving back through various folders or searching through a never-ending unorganized inbox. Any calls, meetings can be logged, and also keep track of tasks which relate specifically to the contact or the company that they're from. Within this view as well, you can see if there's any deals that they're currently in the stage of inquiring about or negotiating on. And also the company they're linked with, and if they're part of any automated sales or kind of workflow at that moment in time. The information that is picked up automatically rather than kind of activity that the contact does themselves is also draws in the information from life cycle, the deal activity, and if they're, for example, a lead, a prospect, a customer. So it gives you that initial place to store your segmentation, which can then be used to inform the tailored marketing and perhaps any other kind of more targeted approach that you'll be taking to some areas of your database. This can even be down as far as what product they're on currently. So it can be used to structure your remarketing or kind of cross-selling campaigns as well. And then finally on this as well, very powerful for your sales team. You also get recorded in here the times they visited your website, the pages that they viewed, and how often they have been visiting. So particularly in a sales stage, whether they be a customer already or not, you have that information easily available to have a very informed and structured conversation with them as a prospect.
Rachel, it's Liz. Sorry, quick question. Do you have to have your website hosted on HubSpot, or could it still collect data for you if it's hosted elsewhere?
You can collect data from elsewhere. So are you with WordPress?
Yes.
Yep. There's a very simple plugin which you can attach to your WordPress site, and that will pass the data back across into HubSpot.
Fab. Sorry, thank you. I had this blocker. I couldn't keep kind of focusing without that. Oh, this isn't there because I've got thank you.
I've got exactly the same question to ask because we're currently with Squarespace. So is there a similar? I'd
have to double check before saying for definite on that one. I wouldn't like to promise something, but I'm sure there is. If it's not the plugin, there is the HubSpot tracking code. So if you've got kind of some friendly web developers, they can just pop the code in for you.
Okay, right, that would be great. Thank you. That was same question I was thinking.
Yeah, so if anyone does have any questions, please chime in. It's like you say, Liz, it's often very specific to that thing at that moment in time.
Thank you.
Great. Yeah, so let's get back into my float. So you also get a similar list to display companies, and the tool that Richard referenced earlier, was also about target accounts. So this is pulled from one of the demo portals. So you can list the targets accounts that you're looking to obviously engage in business with, and it tracks very specific data around the activity on just those contacts and those companies. So you can easily see at a glance kind of when the last engagement was, what the activity is at the moment, and linking this with some of the tailored reporting from your sales team, it gives a very kind of powerful insight to what might be coming up, your revenue forecasting, and also tracking the activity which is being taken by members of the team and progress which is being made. Right. Lists are another very powerful tool. If anyone uses MailChimp, I think there's an element of segmentation which can be done in MailChimp, but we've also got this within HubSpot to tailor the way we can approach people for specific marketing campaigns. So it can be done as a static list, so you can draw a snapshot of your whole database at a moment in time, what people meet certain criteria. Now that could be a information booklet that they've downloaded. It could be a product that they're currently a customer of. It could be a persona that you've assigned to them. They could be a business development Betty as opposed to a sales Sam. The other functionality with it is what's called an active list, and this is a list which will self-update depending on the criteria that you've set. So if you do get more people come in and become a customer of product A, that list will automatically update with those people. So if you've got an update around product A, you can just send an email straight out to that list, and you know it will encapsulate everyone who has that particular criteria attached to them. Because all that information is stored within the CRM on their contact record. That all in one place, power again of making it very simple and easy to manage. She kind of thought of you earlier, Liz, with this when you're saying about updates for your different products and the I am sections. And so it could work particularly well for that. Stepping on to the kind of sales side, this is included in the free package, but more functionality comes with the different levels, is a very kind of transparent, easy to access sales pipeline. The headings can be customized, and all the information about deals which are underway can be stored within these records. These records look similar to the contact view and the company's view, and will draw in information which is already stored about that contact. So a new deal created in the pipeline will actually draw in 30 days history of activity with that contact. So just a single view, you will get your email history, the website views, the social engagement that they've taken part in, all in one place. The background functionality to this as well is it can actually prompt for information as deals move through the pipeline. We've worked with a company before where the accounts team were always a bit grumpy when it came to sending an invoice out, because the sales team would never get a full delivery address or an invoicing address. So they'd be scrabbling around trying to find out kind of what the right postcode was or a few other elements to go with it. So those sort of reminders and prompts can be added in through this process so that information is fully gathered and everything happens in a kind of repeated, consistent approach. The tasks list, once again, I know Richard is a big fan of this one. Rather than having a separate kind of jotter with your tasks on, thousands of post-it notes, it's possible to record all your tasks in one place and actually align or associate them with the person or the company which they're applicable for. So whether that be a follow-up, a regular call that you have in with them, the reminders can be set for this. From a management side as well, you can set tasks for other individuals within the team. So if it's something that you're looking to pass across or just make sure that it's not missed, you can set tasks for other people, set the reminders, set the email reminder to go to them. The start queue function, it's a bit fuzzy, but towards the top right, that's also an automated step-on process that you get with your task flow. So rather than kind of thinking, oh, I've got this to do and kind of going down the list of bullet points, Here's just a case, if you hit go at the beginning, it will tell you call Pam. So you pick the phone up, do that, it'll open up her contact record, pop the details in about the call. As soon as you tick done, it will go straight on to call Dave, and it will just give you a prompted step through every single task that you've got on your list. It is possible to kind of skip them, because often things we kind of look at and go, oh, maybe not this second, I'll come back to it. Or it could be that you need to kind of think, actually, something's changed since I set that task, and reset it for the following day. But it gives you that very kind of focused approach going through. If you cast your minds back, I know it was a while ago now, to week 2. So a lot of the discussion that day was around pillar content and topic clusters, which is what the next slides are going to be in. And it will just give you a bit of an idea about how HubSpot can be used to structure your content, but also arrange it in a way that search engines find very friendly. So this is actually from our portal, this one, you were to tell from the URLs. But this is how you're able to structure the content that is stored in your blog posts. So the blogs can either be hosted within HubSpot, or linking back to the previous question, it can also be to content which is hosted on other websites. But it gives you that structure, it links everything together, and it gives you that added SEO boost for search engines. You can set up multiple topics for this. So we've got ones around other areas, such as account-based marketing, inbound sales. But that's part of some of the SEO, and everything from this can be linked to marketing campaigns. So you get the feedback and the reporting on how well the blog posts are performing, the number of people which are consuming them, bounce rates, and all of that linked to specific contact data as well. So stepping into the kind of email marketing side of things, this is just a bit I've picked up from within the actual tool. It's a drag and drop, so it's very easy to do. You're not going to need any kind of design or mad IT skills to make it work for you. And with all of the email marketing, the landing pages and the thank you pages, it comes with its own built-in analytics. So you actually kind of get conversion rates and attributed revenue against all of the materials and the assets which you've built up as part of a campaign. Once we have those assets in place, obviously delivering them to our prospects and our customers is a priority. So looking in a little bit more detail, this is one of the workflows that we've anonymized. Just checking it was. So looking into a bit more detail, I know Richard touched on this, so we will just scan through ever so quickly. It's your trigger activity. So what criteria do they meet to bring them into this chain of activity? Functionality in there. I've recently onboarded a new client to the system. I think they wanted to go and have a little bit of a lie down after we looked at workflows for the first time, because the amount of flexibility and options that are available, it's almost a never-ending list. So we've got this FM branch, which I know we looked at earlier. So there's that logic reasoning. So did they open the first email or didn't they? Depending on that activity, we can actually tailor what information they receive next, because the tone and the message that you have in the second email may depend on something that they have or have not read in that first email. These branch logics can be built out to quite an infinite extent. Some of the workflows can get quite interesting the further down you go and the more actions there are included. But also you can link them together, which is the dotted line that we've got coming off from the center bottom, linking back up. So it's actually possible to change the route that people take as they're moving through and what content they're getting at what time. Workflows are also really valuable for the internal management. So whether that be setting tasks for team members, depending on a prospect's action, or whether it be just keeping an update of properties within the contact records, depending on what they've done, or copying information across from the company record. There's lots of very short workflows that we have in place, which just help bolster all the information that we have about the people in our database. From the emails that people will receive, whether it be an automated send through a workflow or a marketing email that is sent out kind of in bulk, but the slightly more manual element behind it, you'll always get reporting on the information that was sent out. So kind of open rates, viewing, click rates. You'll get kind of a heat map as well of how far people got down the email, the links which was most clicked on. So that provides very valuable data on giving feedback to what information people consumed the most. We're kind of diving into quite a lot of the reports now. So I'll say reporting in HubSpot is absolutely amazing. Not just saying that because we're linked with them in a way, but the insights that you get, we've not seen another bit of software that quite brings it all together in the same way. So this is just some examples, kind of leads. You can see the sources that people are coming in from, the performance, and kind of how visits, contacts then feeding into customers. So that progression through the pipeline that you've got, blog views, blog subscribers. So it gives you that full holistic view over everything that you're sending out. Once you've got that plugin in place, or the code, it also brings in a lot of your web analytics. So you can get all your page views through HubSpot as well, similar to how Google Analytics will, but once again, all in one place. Life cycle stages, and then also a lot of information drawn in from sales reports. So whether that just be general performance of the whole system that you've got, more information set around the actual revenue that you've got in your pipeline, at what stages the people are sat at. And then you can also drill down by whether it be areas or specific users within the portal. You can get some very tailored insights into how they're performing. I think it's this one we might have looked at earlier as well. So this is website reporting, your sources. This one we saw earlier. And once again, tracking through, giving you that full deep dive into exactly how all of your assets and content are reporting. And just to finish up, once again, just another overview. And then this just to show you the actual extent that you can drill down to reporting. The options on the left there is everything that you're able to actually draw from. So does anyone have any questions at this point? That brings us to the end of a very kind of brief insight into what we have access to and what you can have access to as well. Has anyone got any specific questions about how you've got ideas about how it could help your business?
Can I ask, if we do use it or go for it,
Yep.
do you guys get anything if we say it's come through you? Do you get any benefit of that, or do we just go and sort of do it ourselves?
On that, we'd suggest if you were going to do it, it's probably more benefit to you if you would like to include us in that, purely because of the relationship we have with HubSpot. We can actually leverage for a little bit off the public price for the options that you're looking at.
All right, so it's benefit to us and benefit to you.
Yeah. So if you want to do that through us, there's no commitment to sign on the dotted line with us beyond that point at any time. Something that we do offer is actually helping people get set up on HubSpot. So we call that the onboarding. So because we appreciate it is quite a meaty thing to kind of get going with initially.
Yeah.
So we do a 10-session setup course with companies, and at the end of it you can go, yeah, thank you very much, great job, we'll nice working with you, see ya. Or if you want to carry on with something, that's entirely up to you.
Okay. Yeah, good. Thank you.
Can I just ask, Rachel, does it, at the moment, what we have is a pipeline, internally built system that feeds our cash flow. So is there a link between, like we use Xero accounting. So, because you've got all of this in one place, does it, can the sales link to a cash flow? Can it link to Xero? Is it that connected?
It does integrate with Xero, yes.
Okay.
So I'm just going to hop into there's what's called a marketplace behind it, and it gives you all the other things that it can link with. Probably easier if I share my screen on this one.
At the moment, we are, from a practical perspective, we're recording our pipeline, and our pipeline is feeding our forecast, and we're categorizing that as we go.
Yeah,
when we started using it, they called it an all-in one platform, and now they call it an all-on-one platform because they've deliberately tried to link as many apps to it as they can. So people don't have this problem, really. You can sort of integrate nearly anything you're using with HubSpot to pull either a two-way conversation, or there's a little in between app called Zapier that actually pulls the data off the piece of software you're using and feeds it into HubSpot, and then backwards as the other way, where it feeds it back as well. But Xero is actually fully integrated, isn't it, at some stage?
So this is the integration overview that they've got. This is available publicly as well. There are, as you see, some costs associated with the different elements of it here. The other kind of feed across that they've got running between the HubSpot themselves and different apps is PieSync, and they actually acquired PieSync themselves at the start of this year. So that's another way that information is passed backwards and forwards.
I wonder how, to look at how that cash flow link would flow, because everything internally for us is linked at the moment.
We're
looking at a piece of software called PSO Hub, which was built for HubSpot, but it sort of project manages. Once you've closed won a deal, it then pulls in all the project management and the invoicing and the management of the customer after that. So that may be something for you to look at as well, because it has Gantt charts for all your delivery and your operations side. So
thank you, Rachel.
Different ways of doing all of it.
With the answer to these things is often there must be a way. There is a way.
And there's API feeds into it and all sorts, isn't there, that you can actually set up a proper API feed, so any coder can actually set it up direct. So
also I was thinking, with the kind of revenue reporting within HubSpot, you can kind of get your lifetime value of clients as well. So that does help a little bit with the forecasting side of things, because on obviously kind of when you win a deal, you've got your value assigned to it, but you can align it with how long the contract is for, how many recurring payments there are aligned to that as well. So that links into the forecasting as well. So any other? Oh, thanks, Steve. Just seen your message. We'll catch up with you soon.
I have a question.
Yep.
He's got a driver as well. A driver's got a question.
But we'll take phone questions. It's fine. People can call in.
No, we use Free Agent. Does it do that with Free Agent?
Let's have a look. It's not on the list, but it might be one of the things where, like Richard says, Zapier pulls something through, or PieSync could, where it gives you that feed across.
Yeah, it does QuickBooks, definitely does QuickBooks, and Sage. It definitely integrates with Sage.
Sorry, I've got to go, but I've looked into it because we use Free Agent. And I'm told that HubSpot does align with Free Agent.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Steve.
All right, no worries. See you later,
Cool.
everyone. Anyway, bye.
Yeah, wonderful. Cool. The other little bit I got set up earlier, it's Liz, when you were asking about the tailored content during the main session earlier. I kind of dove in and made up a quick kind of mock-up email, and I just wanted to show this. I think it was when, Richard, you were talking a lot about the personalization approach and tailored content, which we can do on emails, web pages, landing pages, the full works. If we kind of just take a quick look at the death knell for outbound marketing piece here, and Liz, you made me think of this for your different products and courses, is if we said to view it as a specific individual, that piece of content will actually update. So you can make one email with different parts of content within it, which will display different depending on what list, so kind of what criteria certain contacts meet. So we're using this at the moment with a client, depending on if someone has booked a call with the sales team already or not. So it gives you that flexibility there.
So I guess the power is in how you use the lists.
Yeah.
Well, so it's almost like, if you've got 2,000 clients, and in our world, if they've gone through one aspect of it, one program, but not done another, then you can add different things to them. So it's, at the moment, we segment lists by almost like marketing rather than usage.
Yeah.
So it's the list, segmenting the list to then personalize, I guess that's the key.
Yeah, it gives you huge flexibility there. Wonderful. So I'll send the deck out with everything else, and also kind of links to pricing, which I'm sure everyone else is going to be very interested in. I'll also send out a link to
Look at Sam smiling when he said pricing.
To this event, which is coming up on the 10th of December. Now it's kind of designed for users of HubSpot, but I've kind of got the okay that we can pass this link on to people who may be interested. And this is going to be very focused around just a demo, and we've got some kind of quite good speakers on it, and we'll give you some kind of used in anger examples as well from other parties about the platform. So we can pass that on and have you in as VIPs. Even if you're not users already, we'll sneak you in.